Hi, Michael Hebron here. Welcome to another session on our blog, which, by the way, is fairly new, as you all know, and it's very rewarding to the staff that's put it together. We now have thousands of people on this blog talking about the brain's connection to learning, which some of the information is counterintuitive, but it's really a 21st century approach to making progress, whether it's in schools or in sports or in business. How the brain is wired to learn is information that will enhance anybody's progress. And it's starting to be mentioned in a lot of places that are already deep in the tradition of golf. The guys that started TPI, Titleist Performance Institute, Dave Phillips and Dr. Greg Rose, mentioned that learning golf is the next big area that instruction is going to be moving in. They mentioned that at their presentation at the PGA Merchandise Show last month during the education program. And the media is starting to pick up on it. In this week's the February 14th issue of Golf World that has Rickie Fowler on the cover. Very respected and well-read golf writer Jamie Diaz wrote a very thoughtful article on making suggestions on growing the game during this down cycle of sometimes attitude, sometimes financial conditions have all impacted the way golf participation is being represented today, and it's down. And the first part of the article talks about course design and some other things, but about halfway through the article he talks about how the game is being learned. Let me read from here. In the long term, the greatest opportunity to turn the game around lies in the way people learn it. Over the years, I've been increasingly struck by how many fine golfers, professional and amateur, started to play golf with this trial and error, play-to-learn approach. And from his point of view and from our point of view, it has to be considered. He mentions that over technical instruction, play-to-learn golf is a much more useful way to create meaningful learning. And the cover story, which is about Rickie Fowler, mentions that his longtime coach since childhood, he still has him, coached Rickie from a play-to-learn approach. I think the current British Open champion and the current US Open champion both feel the progress they have made recently is because they've gone to a play-to-learn approach, which happens to be the title of my most recent book, Play Golf to Learn Golf, which is based on how the brain is wired to learn. It's been very successful, and you might consider getting it. Speaking of play to learn, it was very interesting that Tiger Woods 2 days ago came off the golf course after a disappointing first round in the match play. And we was asked different questions, but one of the specific questions is, when you're on the golf course, are you thinking about your swing? And he said, definitely. He said, I think about it on every swing. Well, that, I don't know, and I don't know Tiger personally, so I'm assuming that several years ago he wouldn't have said he was thinking about every swing on the golf course. He once talked about that his golf clubs and the ball were his playmates. And whenever asked about his relationship with his dad, they always talked about how they were competitive and creative with no how-to instruction involved. So it's just kind of interesting that somebody who has played world-class golf at one time, who would appear to have moved away from the way he played world-class golf, with the absence of doubt, which there's a famous quote by Mark O'Mara several years ago when asked what was Tiger's secret. And Mark threw his hands up to the reporter and said, Tiger has the absence of doubt. He said, we're all born with the absence of doubt, and Tiger still has it. And now talking about the brain's connection to learning, in a few weeks at Pine Needles, one of the outstanding golf resorts in North Carolina, we are holding a 3-day workshop on neural learning for golf. March 27th, 28th, and 29th. It's very reasonable. It's if you share a room with somebody, the seminar, the food, and the lodging is only $850, and that's checking in Sunday night, and there's a Sunday night presentation and introduction. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we will spend time in a classroom in the morning and then go outside in the afternoon. We'll work on your approach to coaching, we'll work on your game, and we'll be working with amateurs of different handicap levels, so you can see the difference between a teaching fixing approach and a learning developing approach. I've never had an agent. I'm kind of a build it and they will come kind of guy. I guess our work or our name is known all over the world from that approach, but I'm going to suggest, I'm going to be a little bit of a salesman, you will learn something new if you take the time to come to Pine Needles that week in March. I know it's a time of the year where cash flow is not great for most of us, but it's also a time of the year where any investment in yourself will pay large dividends in the future. Thanks for your time, and hope to see you at Pine Needles.